A lot of people make the argument that they are trying to get rich so that they can be helpful and philanthropic to other people. This is a noble goal and sounds very good, but apparently it's nothing more than virtue signaling. According to this paper in the National Bureau of Economic Research by Jonathan Meir and Benjamin Priday, which was reported, since you have to download it here, you can see the summary here in this article from The Economist. According to the information that they found, philanthropy does not increase as a percentage of income as people become richer. If you look here, while the amount given per household income group from the poorest among us to the wealthiest does increase, and very dramatically in the top percentile. According to this graph on the right here, as a percentage of income, the percentage of income is more or less consistent. Again, excepting for outliers, because there are some outliers, and everyone likes to judge things based on outliers, but the general trend is that the only thing that we can infer is that the richer people become, the more likely they are to give. So this one, the far left graph here, has a steady increase from lowest to highest as we go from the poorest Americans to the richest. The middle graph shows that the poorest give the least in terms of gross dollars, and the richest give the most, and then dramatically so over their next quintile. But that as a percentage, people are likely to give the same percentage of money regardless of how much money they earn. And this is the real story here, is that philanthropic people are only visibly philanthropic. You're only philanthropic if you give more as a percentage of your money than you would if you were poor. And the truth of this actually bears out that if you look at this correctly, going into the highest income bracket, this is not a statistically significant change, but there's actually a drop in the percentage of income. This is because the more money people have, the more tightly they want to hold on to it. There are poor people who are desperate to hold on to money, but a poor person is much more likely to help me than a rich one. And I know that in terms of the times I have needed help myself. So the only thing we can conclude from the data is that rich people are more likely to give, and that rich people give more in terms of gross dollars. But in other words, any claims of philanthropic endeavor are mostly virtue signaling and smoke and mirrors. That Americans or people in America are just as likely to give the same fraction of their income, regardless of how great their income may be. It's food for thought and a very interesting bit of tidbit on top of that.